No. Whatever. The scribe's work is simple, which is exactly why I took the position.
I want to go on a vacation with Galvana.
Now for a little rest. Wait a sec. Isn't something important supposed to happen today? Oh, today's our big day!
Please, sign here.
It's been so long since we've been to the surface. Let's... Huh?
What's happening? I'm fine.
Let's go ask the Duke. Your Grace?
Ah, good to see you two.
Yeah, what was with that earthquake?
Ah, that. Over the years of serving as the warden here, I've developed a sense for distinguishing between what occurs on the surface and what occurs under.
So the fortress is...
If you recall our last...
Huh. By the way, do you know what day it is today?
I believe today is this month's pipe cleaning day.
Wait, seriously?
Ah, yes. Have you completed your release papers?
Yep. It's you two. Are you leaving now? That's right! Today is our last day in prison! But now that Paimon says that, it doesn't feel like... Oh yeah, Paimon feels fond of this place now! Then be sure to come back and visit. I'll miss you.
If you've signed the release papers, then you're free to go.
You're not going...
I knew you'd ask.
Well, you actually agreed.
Ah, so you do
After being down here for so long, I imagine you must feel like you're lacking companionship. Shall I come along too? Yeah, don't worry, we'll come back to see you. Paimon really likes the cafeteria here. The chefs sure do know how to make good grub.
I hope you won't be here as convicts the next time I see you.
We'll do our best to stay out of trouble. Well, it seems our work in the Fortress of Meravine is finished. That's the end of another chapter in our journey. And since Nervlev was the one who asked us to come here, we should probably go report to him now. Next up, the Palais Mermonia. You're going to see Monsieur Nervillette? Please pass on our kind regards.
I'm sure just your regards will do. You're right.
Ballet Mermonia sure is buzzing with activity today.
Halt! Huh? Oh, excuse me. I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here. You can see yourselves in.
Everyone's so busy. Seems a lot has been happening.
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment, as there are some urgent matters I must tend to first. In the meantime, please, have a seat. If you'd like to have something to drink, let the Melusine outside know.
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well, then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish his work.
All right. That should wrap things up for now.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the Fortress of Meripede, and it appears that you've managed to complete all the release paperwork.
That's right, and we came here to see you right away. Do you have any idea?
Judging from your description, a whale of that
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how?
most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the Yes? What is it?
Ah, right. We asked the Duke.
It turns out that I've the source of the
The water level.
Fortunately, if the change in water...
Navia should be in Poisson, right?
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first.
There's no time to lose. Let's get going.
Please be careful.
These newcomers are full of enthusiasm.
Oh no. What? Navia should be around here. We haven't seen a single soul all the way here. Oh, this is getting scary.
What will I ever do now?
Look, there's someone on the...
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg! How could this...
Just hang.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
You're here.
a situation in Poisson, so we came as quickly as we could.
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly rose. It caused quite the disturbance, in fact.
Demoiselle! There was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety, but we've run out of medical supplies.
He's wounded? How badly?
He fell, so it...
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1 and...
Understood.
All right. You'll... I'm sorry. Right. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud... The rushing water seemed a little... Everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water... Those who realized the Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible. But the water that flooded... No one knows if this could happen again.
How awful.
It was quite frightening indeed. I only wish that every...
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
Thank you.
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Demoiselle! We've got a situation here!
Sorry. I need to go for now.
And Ashiko?
Okay. The wounded... Of course, Traveler.
Huh? Right now?
Thank you. Not a lot of people here, huh?
Well, given the time of day and the whole situation...
Right. That's how things are now. The living are so exhausted that they've no strength to spare any words for the dead.
Navia? Navia, what's...
Sorry. I just... Maloose and Silver.
Huh? What happened to them?
Everyone agreed on the rescue. They were helping, and I've known that I could at least hold a funeral for my father. And I know where he rests. But as for Maloose and Silver...
Everything looks so clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect...
I can understand
See, it's not...
How could... Yet the cemetery...
buying yourself a plot in it.
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Cap.
Hey!
I'm quite...
That makes sense.
After all, besides you, Demoiselle, the two of us...
Personally,
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously. But I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff. And what do you mean by saving me a trip? I'd make the journey even if I had to visit you two somewhere else. I'd promised to let them rest in peace here. But here I am breaking that promise. I'm sorry for letting you see me in a mess like this. I don't usually cry, really.
Paimon doesn't...
I had always thought Maloose and Sil... I'm so...
You can spend as much time as you need here, Navia. We'll stay with you.
Thank you. By the way, you can have a look at this.
Oh, Benna, so...
It's okay. The overall outcome indicates that the cost was worth it.
Right. Maloose and Sil...
You're right. What you said just now was...
Oh,
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
Is there...
Yes, my people. As for the supply,
Thank you.
wait.
we just met recently.
Thanks to the knave, Spina di Rosu...
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing. That said, I must say that you're a lot sharper than you let on. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations. I hear that they've also prepared a large amount of emergency supplies. I'm quite surprised.
This is nothing to brag about, nor do I intend to. It is simply the way of powerful organizations to act forcefully, whether they are doing good or ill. You've witnessed that firsthand, in any case. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to prevent the impending disaster. Lending your organization a hand was a natural first step in accomplishing that. As such, do not be troubled by this token of our sincerity. Perhaps one day, you'll also be able to help me in the same way.
Without your help, there would have been many more casualties. I won't forget your kindness.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Malus and Silver. I only wish that my people could have arrived a little earlier to prevent this from happening.
Don't say that. You and your subordinates did everything you could. As Paimon said, Malus and... I've never...
You're right. Water is...
So, you're...
Of course. By the way, traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
All right.
That is a traveler. You and I both know that there may be issues with the primordial sea. Indeed. During some judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be my people...
So, that's...
I wanted to take the children along, Linny told, which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family, but Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you. I'm sure you...
Oh,
The intel I...
got it.
Excuse me, but may I tag along?
You wish to join?
But are you sure you're up to exploring some ruins? You need to rest.
Well, I'm sad, yes. But I can't just go back and plop myself into a chair by the roadside and do nothing. There's no point. Besides...
Since you put it that way, I have... All right.
Okay, So, are these the...
They seem to...
Let's go...
Just be careful.
wind knows it. Here you are. Scatter! Wind strike!
The floor here isn't safe.
Take this! One with nature.
This place has also been contaminated by primordial seawater.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too. A Fontanian would most likely dissolve the moment they
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous and it won't be don't get by my wrong. We're not...
No, you're right. That complicates things.
In that case...
I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit.
All right. Oh no, it's a dead end! Let's try climbing over from the side.
Wait, there's something wrong with this bridge! Huh?
Demoiselle, what are you...
Maybe she just...
Yes, it...
That's quite
Oh. This is...
Is something the matter?
Oh, no, I was just
Do you remember...
We were headed...
right.
Oh, Miss Navia. Ah, Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too.
How have...
I've been great. Thanks to your help, they were knocking at my door.
Sometimes...
That's right. Oh,
Oh, yes. One moment, I have it right, Miss Navia. These are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. They're a very good variety, and they'll become very big and beautiful once they bloom. I don't know what we would have done without your help, so this is a little token of our
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, Demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants.
Very well.
Wait. Excuse me, madam.
That's right.
No, it's nothing. I've heard this. And why are there so few people around here?
We must mind the time.
Huh? We do?
Well, now, did you forget?
Miss Navia, here you are. My trial?
Yes, she's right, Demoiselle. It's...
Oh?
Look, it's Navia. She's here.
And her two attendants are with her. Goodness, everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to... Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen. Why are so many people here? And why do I have no recollection of this case? And as for the judge... huh? Where's Monsieur Neuvillette?
Please sit in the defense.
All right, but...
Typically, it...
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on. Do they have...
Enough with the...
My dear Miss Navia, as all here know, you are master... After you took up... Not only you, but...
Wait a moment.
Yes, correct. We are one big, therefore this...
Huh?
Ah, well...
How wonderful, Miss...
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I see.
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now. She's...
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to...
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Joinville, you only know of Navia's goodness, but nothing of her utterly
She was born a free and...
Her actions cannot... Please do not mistake...
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. This is the nation of justice, the nation of Hydra. Even if everything is... Now, I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay.
And you would call this justice? Have you forgotten how much you...
Do you mean to
If your justice is...
As you said, we can also have our own justice. And that...
My head...
Demoiselle!
Silver, I remember now. Everything that seemed odd, Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Don't be afraid, and don't admit guilt. We will protect you to the very end.
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the majority, and in the nation of trials, the majority... Don't let them escape!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to... After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying?
No more excuses!
He says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be?
What's with these people? Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us.
Miss Nav...
Silence!
That's...
Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court will
Our thanks.
Please leave with me.
But...
Go on now, demoiselle. This is your only...
Malus.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that...
Malus... Silver...
Quickly, you must come now.
Goodbye, demoiselle.
Farewell.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
You're awake. Good.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive.
It looks like you're...
Did all the sad feelings come?
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. You were just about to...
What is it?
I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second, but they gave me the chance to retrieve you. Were it not for their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you before your consciousness dissipated.
Wait, did you say Oceanids? You mean like what happened with Vache?
Perhaps those
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me. To think that they'd keep doing so even after death.
Please come with me.
Neverlet, are you okay?
Hmm? Oh, I am quite all right. Perhaps there's something we could chat about?
Why do you look so stiff all of a sudden? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about, right?
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to herself.
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you think it's even more awkward to call us over like this and then have nothing to talk about?
I suppose so. Ah, Sijui?
No way, don't worry.
I see.
Oh, and
Thank you.
he still doesn't know what to talk about. So, Neverlet, you're probably quite the swimmer, huh?
Yes, of course.
This isn't going anywhere. Let's try something else. How did you find these ruins? Did the knave tell you?
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui were helping the residents evacuate. They had even transported a large quantity of supplies to the area. Amid my
Yeah, we...
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
All right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going then!
Let's light it up! Wind strike! Time to go.
Oh no, another unstable path. Watch your step. Watch out! There are rocks falling over here!
Teamwork is strength! Wind strike!
Seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up!
Lightning flash! The wind knows me. One with nature. Take this!
That's gonna hurt in the morning.
Following thunder! Lightning flash!
Let's light it up! Everybody stand back!
As one with wind and cloud.
A process of elimination.
Into the wind.
Time to go.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place? There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like...
Perhaps we should just leave them be.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate...
The surrounding walls...
There's something written below. Let Paimon see.
It feels like some...
That would fit the
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this... what is this? Some kind of island in the sky?
And is that Lady Farina in the 3rd image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't quite get it, are they?
The 4th image.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover.
Don't blame yourself, Miss.
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just... This says that it's...
I really...
Still...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the 4th, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the 3rd? Where the Hydro Archon herself...
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by time...
Egeria, then. The previous Archon kneeling before the float...
Did she herself commit that sin? Also, I'm so...
But who would've...
It seems that any further clues will have to come...
In that case, there's no time to look...
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here.
You still...
Just...
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Rest well. Traveler, I will go talk. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results of our discussion with you.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this?
She has long...
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands then.
I will be careful.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at... All right. I'll be on my way then.
We're finally back!
Welcome back.
Yay! And there's good food too! Paimon's already starting to forget what happened.
Oh, that voice. Is that who?
Huh?
It's you two. Seriously?
Still, we didn't
Well, I have some... Why did you think I was from Fontaine? Well, I used to have my own surname, there was nothing for it. Nope. Although it is used by...
Wow!
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I... Astromancer, but...
Whoa, that's a long one.
My name means Mona...
Thrice as great?
I know, right?
Talk about excess.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our schools.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you?
Well, I was born.
Oh, that...
There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. The invitation was sent quite...
What do you...
What I can tell you, I'm afraid, but on the flip side...
A visionary?
Of course. The old hag could do it. And I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could do something similar. Huh?
Thanks, Mona!
Oh,
That's the great...
indeed.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about.
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy. Right, but we were able to recruit good morning. To be honest, Paimon's still feeling kind of... But it's time to get up, traveler.
Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady Fer...
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the prop... It is not my Look at this.
You mean...
We did not arrive in time to avert this. I will say this once more. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in...
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't... but... you...
That's correct. Which is... the second of these
I don't.
I'll ask you my deciphering of this...
All gods don't have the same secret. I understand your concerns, but...
Forgive me for saying this now, lady. There are several This is not strange. You have never been as...
Well, since you know, there's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix. Just trust in me. That's all I have to say. We do not Oh!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling.
I assume you know...
Oh!
She was in a panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Still, I do not understand. Everyone in her... We may have to...
Oh?
Normally, people will...
But Farina...
We will need to consider this, if at all possible. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is... But who will lend us the...
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster.
And here you are, drinking tea.
That's what families should do.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for...
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you?
Me? No, I don't think I can.
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in...
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize.
That was a little long-winded.
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand, and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
In that case, do any of you have experience?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we...
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters, though that was their name. Today, a trap so...
For me, our line of...
You use some of those techniques while moving the people...
Yes, and I even...
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my
And I can be...
With discretion.
I remember that...
I did.
What about you, Monsieur
I feel...
That makes sense. But I do have one... If we were to create... If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter.
Huh.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on, but we shall require much more courage.
Oh.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have... After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just... Paimon's never seen...
Don't be frightened. Aw.
Wait.
You're feeling... The prophecy.
What?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eye. Just as prophecies are the things that you...
What?
I believe that you understand, right? Ultimately. This was...
The voice. Hey, it's...
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively
Mona!
Fine, just fun. Not all Fontanians are
Did she...
Why, yes. It was... I'm in full support.
That's right!
Ah, yes. About... Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the gods...
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old but I've never met.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle...
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was. Perhaps it is some... Traveler,
Oh, we're fine.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has often... But even so, perhaps that's what N was trying to tell... I did originally think...
Huh. You do have a point.
It was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I suppose that might...
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. But, hey, Traveler, let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Time to go.
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. What's going on? Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to so while the journalist Charlotte took she hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the seriously? We're here! Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last...
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after... Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It's...
Wait!
That's right.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily...
Then what if someone told you one...
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't...
Oh, the prof is... No, it's the same...
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have... These 2 slices are for you.
Oh, you know CJ...
I sure do. She said that human... I've got something else to do, so I'll be going...
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. Paimon It's more delicious than... Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food. Oh, we're near the Steambird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
Ha! You've got some nerve!
Oh, you needn't... It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Really? Oh, you're the best!
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
I see. It seems you've already bumped into Mona here in Fontaine. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary Traveler and Paimon?
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
Yeah, are we even qualified enough?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days to prepare.
Oh, in that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and... Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, then the story I would wind up writing would truly be timeless. And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. I guess you could say that I was born to be a journalist. But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing... Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but... No, Paimon should ask if... We've always been moving to the next destination, so we... You mean... Still trapped? Huh. Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still...
Ah, so the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the palace?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Not at all. Yes, inside the Opera House. The Marechaussee Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
A riot?
Well, that lady for loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before the crowd can
So
I agree.
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry. The Marechaussee Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Marechaussee has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Good.
Don't worry. Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know, and as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic. When Nervalet was talking, it would be hard for... Paimon thinks, huh? Well, what do you think? In that case... This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her. That's Farina, right over there.
What was meant to happen did. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's. I'm sorry, but what can I even do? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. It's.
So it is.
Farina, you were crying just now.
What do you mean, tear stains? Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment. They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach them a lesson. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Maréchaussée Phantom are freaking out right now.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? That's against the rule.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up! This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot.
What?
Hurry, they're almost.
Fine. I suppose, hey.
Paimon's exhausted.
No, I mean, I'm nearly.
Yep.
What's happening?
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nouvellette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. Give up, indeed. Fate is real. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the... As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. Well, that's enough for now. I got the... Don't take any...
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
Cher, that's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my witness. Yes, I've heard that you came, and if Tevat is in its entirety.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalor.
May I interpret these words as your refute? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through...
You would draw your blade against... I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it.
What the heck is going on?
Wow.
Lady Farina.
Shh! It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding.
Looking for
I raised my hands just now to I will admit that I'm sorry, everyone. You are not the only one. But now, I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning. This time, applaud and rejoice. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're... Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic...
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Also, please allow me to ask, just how much work did you do?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward.
Navia, the president of...
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as the people's resentment. Moreover, according to our So
you mean... the ones who scoured...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate.
That's right. That house was a magic box.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Op, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson was an arc. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never... Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location.
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess, Nervila, you gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would also that as soon as I appeared on the stage...
Yes, that is...
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the...
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with...
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Oh, let Paimon see. Wait. Then that means this document is a perfect... So in other words, we can refer to this... Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case. This is the first time a Fatui Harbinger. The fortress of Meripede was... according to Miss... I nearly lost. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably...
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come, just fast forward. Of course. It is only natural for humans to struggle to...
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead... Lady Farina.
I plead not. There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be...
Yeah, I've never questioned...
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since... See? Even the oratories have... If you wish to...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only...
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. And if I was not the
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against...
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura... But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was no...
Neverlet sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina... Well, it is true that it...
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of a... For centuries, manifest... One need only to turn their eyes towards the oratory's
You tried to reference the oratories, but weren't you as confused?
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions...
Lady Farina, I will leave a reminder of your... While the court is in session, the principles of you will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges.
I never thought.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of
The real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know why but the Oratries handed out that verdict. You can't argue that just...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce
my power as an Archon.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons, thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide
Isn't that?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's
Hey, come now, everyone! I'm still the please.
If what the prosecutor said is true,
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence.
Wow, she came up with yet another... That doesn't sound right. It has been established that all Fontanians...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary
Super sorry, monsieur. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive... including those... So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this if we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater? But, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to... I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simple...
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has...
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls...
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But
she's just staring at the water without saying...
What's going on? Is she really...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina...
Hey! I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now?
Miss Siegewin? If you're present, Miss Siegewin, please...
Siegewin, don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your...
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the...
Thank you, Miss Siegewin. Lady Farina...
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did... However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve. We don't want anyone else to lose.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secure... It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually...
Listen to me! Listen to me, everyone! Please don't think about it! Also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me! I swear, I really am your...
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway me. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardiaque.
Well, what's wrong? What's the oratrice's...
No, the oratrice...
Isn't that correct?
However, the exact wording to be punished via...
That's actually one of the available sentences?
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given...
Farina's been sentenced to death by the oratrice?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. Is this sentence really appropriate for...
Yeah! Even Fache wasn't sentenced to death by the oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearance.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, but now the oratrice seems to have deliberate...
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other...
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, so when you say Hydro Archon...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this... However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they...
Okay, let's try to recall the The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine. Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, the second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon. Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea. That we didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we?
We know from the case of the serial disappearances, and the first stone slate tells us that long ago, this might be the reason that... Perhaps what is about the true sin of the Hydro Arc and the original sin cast down on the... It's not as simple as when Navia fell into the sea. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the... The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause if we hadn't dealt with it in time.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in... The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded... The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The stone slate's content can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we... now, but then it feels like...
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
All Fontanians were originally created. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians... Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved...
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that that could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to
The Hydro Archon's truce.
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the opera.
Yeah! Isn't the image here just like when Navia fell in? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the in the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters. And did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, however, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, when we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontania. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon. However, even though not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial... Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true...
So you...
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to... Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death?
This really might be too much information for your regular...
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all they have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this... The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, therefore, that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon. Yes,
I think I'm following now. So, in truth, everything we've done...
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, as for the root cause of the catastrophe... This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must...
It was both dream.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could
The truth, the original sin, the trial.
That was way too close!
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the... And once it has...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created
Precisely. That way... Therefore, when it left the Primordial Sea, it decided...
We just barely managed to...
That is correct, from the way he looked. He must have been...
That battle maniac. We've always known that anyway. Now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy?
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the Primordial Sea's energy before we... Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed...
That's... We've already done everything we can. We've come so far.
Indeed. That's not...
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will... Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things... Ultimately, fate shall serve as your own...
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just...
You are not for...
the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous.
Fusalo. What?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. The heavenly principle.
Deceiving the heaven...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to... One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. She knew full well that the and as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I had to outwit. I'm a genius, I know. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this. Anymore.
So you were also once one...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And she could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Her strengths were of a kind only, but in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always... Anyway, so that's all part of the plan, of course. Do you still remember the final scene of the In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, under the curse I placed on her, so long as Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house. I suppose now you probably understand why you're...
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no strong. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, it's been 500, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
The wind knows me.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto this stage? Now, all right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need. Oh, do not jet. I am Focalor, the eyes of... Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Clouds high. The birds here.
Let's light it up.
Wind strike. That hurts.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Wind strike.
Why do they never miss? Off we go. Let's light it up!
Take this!
Flicker.
Lightning flash! Wind strike.
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Wait a moment. You're... mirror me?
Mirror
me.
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will all be dissolved.
Oh.
What's going on? But...
I will tell you how to save everyone.
Oh, as for the suffering, but if the prophecy will, if there were scales, with all the people...
I suppose this would also be...
Huh?
Don't worry.
Play as...
That's right. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying...
But...
Don't worry. Being a human, remember.
So, how long...
To accomplish this mission, but I promise you...
A trial. Huh? The Maison Cardinalise has announced my... What should I say? Ladies, I'm sure you've all heard. In truth, as the god Focalor, once again, thank you all for this. I thought I might...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's going on? Right. Calm down, Farina. Assertive. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet... Well, it seems that you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the... Now then!
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your... We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be... The scales of... May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. There is no trouble in this world that justice... So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese. So long as...
Yes! Oh, yeah!
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of...
Come now. Besides, none of these trials...
if I may be so impertinent.
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous
That's true, I fear I lack the ability...
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duty.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say.
No need to thank me. All right.
He is doing... You're such a...
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological...
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass.
Well, as I understand it, the...
Really?
I'm afraid that...
Oh, is that so? Well... The day is finally over, but it's good to see that everything's getting... Maybe this is fine. All right.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial report.
There'll be no need.
Lady Farina, I've...
Indeed, my dear loyal...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological...
Understood. Keep monitoring. I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you...
And what a fine family yours...
Are you crying?
Uh-huh. Oh, really now? I didn't even notice. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never have I want to tell someone. I've conducted so many, and all I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden, although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone.
Share. That's impossible. It was fated right—
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, just share it with me.
A witness. And if Tevat is... He's right. I could confide in him, but if things don't play out as it... No, Farina. You shouldn't be so... But what if... Farina, you've worked so hard. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? If you let this opportunity, think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness.
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive, she did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even, it seems that trusting humanity.
I believe that I understand how your deception works. How would you build on this foundation to save the people?
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pimped. I'm sure you've long sensed that the oratories.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a... It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the oratories take down the god of justice, I mean, did you think my work over these last 500 years? But really, some have already discovered that only the vast majority had to be.
It was all a part of your plan then?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rule.
So the oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor. The destruction of that divine throne.
Returning what's rightfully yours to you. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon. Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more.
All you've done throughout the years is just...
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm... Hydro Dragon, I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have... Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And the heavenly... I, for my part, am the god of... Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuit. So, if the theft of the primordial sea... Then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, in other words, existence was Egeria's justifying the prophecy and ensuring that at this point, we, whether Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, at last. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside you are things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Eudex Nuvelet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just...
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since...
It's time to end this. We must meet... I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast, come with me, Traveler. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Fallen leaves, adorn my... Wind strike!
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself. I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Let's light it up! Off we go! Wind strike! Lightning flash!
Light it up! Everybody stand back!
One with wind and cloud.
Well now.
Let's light it up!
Like this!
Let's light it up!
Wind strike.
Off we go! I'm going in! Adventure time!
Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
That's gonna hurt in the morning! Let's light it up! Off we go! I always bounce back. Just watch me.
Manifest the authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Clouds high. The birds...
Defract! Here you are.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master... Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen.
That power.
Paimon has an idea. From what... It's just that he gave us the impression that she was...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand... So you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's all in all, it...
Miss Skirk?
The point...
Well, being that this... So what sort of person is your...
Oh, right. So you... His name is Sertologi.
Huh?
I am
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous.
The foul.
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhine Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, but I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a
Wait! Didn't you also mention of...
Actually, never mind that. I bet that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its... Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult. As such, the fontaine back on the surface, in other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting about.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here! All hands, initiate emergency rescue!
Hurry! Hey, lend a hand! Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong! The prophecy was wrong!
Are you alright?
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
Good things.
The soil renewed. The Sweeney Rasula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Old Soil Skyship Winglet, lunar brain of the Fontaine Research Institute. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. People always call... Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the report.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The value for these big Edwin's assistant, Jurier...
Paimon's curious...
And that's exactly... Oh, this time... we go! Adventure time! Navia!
Oh, it's...
Hey, we're just having...
I'm here to update my...
let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević, our resident...
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan, but if you don't...
I get where you're coming from.
That would be thought...
Oh, you're back too. How are...
We finished laying...
Huh?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. Oh, wait, just a moment. Do you mind me asking if you... Forget it. I'm sure... I see.
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up and smile.
How did it go? Was it a good shot?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is also not...
Wow.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the fort.
Whoa, you...
That's a...
In truth, I told him...
You're right.
Stay safe now. And...
Off we go. Adventure time.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feel.
Looks like you've been missing it.
Duke! Did you come?
Of course.
It's an honor to...
No need to thank.
Of course,
All right then. This way. It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her...
Sir, please... No,
Now, I might not look it, but I... The boat that... Still, if I might add...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our family.
Really? Well, then in that case...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to...
Ah,
Hey, Miss Charlotte.
Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been...
Same old, same old.
Other than that flying ship.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more...
You're too...
I see.
He sure did...
I'll tell them that...
Oh.
What change can there be? As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to...
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it...
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go.
There'll be...
Maybe? Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater All right. Last stop, the dock.
Let's go find some treasure.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in town.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket? What sort of gadget is it? It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you. Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that. You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out.
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very... Oh, after Lady...
A diplomat?
Yes, it could have been done. Furthermore...
That's...
I would agree.
So there's some...
I suspect...
But that...
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wound.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had love...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the travel.
Are you going to take the nose?
That is our duty, as don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but switching my masks is something I've always... Well, that depends on many things. As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
And that's a wrap for me. You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like. The sea breeze is quite pleasant.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled...
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon.
To move things about?
That's right. I guess this must... All right, then.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Neverlett's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway.
Adventure time! Off we go! Benny's adventure team, assemble! Off we go!
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neverland! Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out.
Aw, Paimon. All right, let's have...
It is strange how word.
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the Divine, but Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons referred. Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Yeah, and in a...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the...
Guess Focalor had... hang on a second. Back when Fontanian...
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanian...
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is...
In truth, even those couples did not know that those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the...
Paimon sorta gets it.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth. I have investigated his case, but whether it be by... As for the judgment passed, whether it was...
Guess Focalor... hang on a sec. Back when
Life has all...
Yeah, Lynette said...
In truth, those Oceanids... Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Right?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of High... I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After she simply said that she was... Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house. You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her, but now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon, she can find...
What about you then? What are your...
After Focalor passed on, this matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over...
Looks like you're still considering stuff...
As an elemental drag. As such, before I attend... Additionally, the high...
That's true. Wait, but the various Maxim machines in the city are also...
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute.
Wow.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right!
Leaving aside their intentionality, their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, the Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine... As such, it has lost all meaning. If the Fatui have impure designs... Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be...
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself. Unlike ancient dragons, such as myself, The dragons of Natlon have undergone long... Natlon is also the nation of war. War ravages those... There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from... The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into...
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlon. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. When we spoke to Linny earlier, we guessed that there might be some reason for...
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence. So regarding this specific issue, I was In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet?
What next?
The all devout. I can finally catch the scent of your... It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons. But with something very similar to a god's curse. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know.
Of course. You should have the...
Remains? I've never... Well, that much is true, but I fear I have never...
I've been training with my... It is only natural for those who are... Regardless, to live in itself is a blessing. But...
What do you need?
No need to...
This third descendant...
Master Nev... If you're interested, though, I could ask him.
Next time, you believe...
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my...
That's what she...
The remains of... So that's what the...
All the same,
And she said that it would...
if she speaks the truth... I guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I didn't... That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender. I wonder...
Like being able to... No, let's not think about this stuff. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels... Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses.
All right. What else?
Yes. All...
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's... I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes, life flows, and what ultimately...
Benny's adventure team,